Such a tremendous quantity of fossil carbon is being extracted from the crust of the earth in North Dakota that even the gas flares on the oil wells are one of the brightest lights in North America as seen from space. And so the Bakken Pipeline, also known as the Dakota Access Pipeline, is set to carry 500,000 barrels a day from North Dakota to refineries in Illinois. This 1,200-mile-long pipeline that's nearly halfway completed is set to cross 200 rivers, streams, and tributaries, including the Missouri and the Mississippi. Major stakeholders in the Dakota Access Pipeline include Energy Transfer Partners, Sunoco, Phillips 66, Marathon Oil, and Enbridge, and are being financed by 17 banks, including Citibank and Wells Fargo, to build this $3.8 billion for-profit private pipeline, in which they've used the power of eminent domain to seize land away from private residents. 5 months ago, the Standing Rock Sioux tribe set up Sacred Stone Camp in response to the proposed route of the pipeline going under the Missouri River and across ancestral burial grounds, just a mile from the reservation. They've been joined by thousands of natives and activists from all over the continent, representing more than 100 tribes, and together, they've continuously halted the pipeline's construction along that segment. On August 31st, 30 people were arrested protesting the pipeline in Iowa, while 8 people were arrested for chaining themselves to the construction equipment at the Sacred Stone Camp. On September 2nd, sacred tribal sites and ancient burial ground locations were ID'd in court documents. The next day, on September 3rd, the Dakota Access Pipeline bulldozers began digging up the burial grounds whose locations were identified the day before. When the native activists moved in to block the path of the bulldozers, they were met by a private security team hired by the Dakota Access Company who had come armed with pepper spray and attack dogs, until eventually the security teams were so outnumbered that they and the construction crews were removed from the site. This day was also the anniversary of the Whitestone Massacre, where on September 3, 1863, the U.S. Army killed more than 300 members of the Standing Rock tribe. On September 6th, a federal judge in D.C. ruled that the construction crews were legally allowed to continue bulldozing the sacred burial sites. Also on that same day, Green Party candidate for president Jill Stein was videotaped spray painting, "I approve this message," on the blade of a bulldozer. On September 8th, Governor Jack Dalrymple said the National Guard will be deployed to a checkpoint along the Highway 1806 with up to 100 other National Guard on standby. Then on September 9th, a federal judge rejected the Standing Rock Sioux tribe request for an injunction against the United States government over the Dakota Access Pipeline. Then minutes later, the Army, the Department of Justice, and the Department of Interior released a joint statement saying, "Construction of the pipeline on Army Corps land bordering or under Lake Oahe will not go forward at this time. We request that the pipeline company voluntarily pause all construction activity within 20 miles east or west of Lake Oahe." So the Obama administration asked Dakota Access to voluntarily cease construction along a 40-mile stretch of a 1,200-mile pipeline that it's already halfway done building. But construction continues full force in multiple other locations. And because 99% of the pipeline's path falls on private property, only a tiny slice is subject to federal regulation anyway. But it is a series of small victories like this that prevented the Keystone XL pipeline from being constructed and that will ultimately prevent the Bakken pipeline from being completed. So there's been a national call to action. First, to increase support for the Sacred Stone Blockade in North Dakota. Second, to participate in a national day of protest on September 13th against the major financial institutions that are bankrolling the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. And third, to block the multiple other construction sites along the route. Beginning with a blockade on September 17th at the point where the pipeline is slated to cross the Mississippi River. For more information on these 3 calls to action, you'll find links in the description. And for more content like the video you just watched, subscribe to the Lucid Lorax YouTube channel.